Antoine De St Exupery. Was he really such a great guy? I question whether he is so great or not. The Little Prince. I was going through some books that I've shared with my children. I came across The Little Prince. I was interested in The Little Prince a long time ago for a variety of reasons. It is philosophical. It is kind of a parable. It is hopeful. It is sad. All these things reflect its author. I'll be honest, his name is hard to pronounce. I did a search on YouTube to find his pronunciation. Let me try it. Antoine De St Exupery. He was complex. Antoine De St Exupery was a complex figure. He was an aristocrat, yet he wasn't rich. He was a writer, yet he had very few concrete academic credentials. He was an aviator, yet he crashed his plane more than once. He wrote books that were quite philosophical, yet he wrote this children's book. His book, called The Little Prince, is very difficult to put into a category. Is it a children's book? If so, I'm not sure that children really like it. My children didn't like it. They thought it was very sad. Indeed, when I read it a second time, I thought so too. The Little Prince is also such a sad figure. In fact, sadness comes out a lot as a strong theme in Antoine's works. Maybe this is because Antoine himself was very sad. They say that he went through various bouts of depression throughout his life. He was married once, but almost got married once earlier. He was unfaithful to his wife. This seems to be one of the hallmarks of an unstable person. In fact, the more I read about Antoine, the less I like him. His book is indeed somewhat disturbing. I like that. It's good to be disturbed because it stimulates you to think and reassess things. But at the same time, I'm also reassessing my opinions about Antoine and his books. As I grow, I like his books less and less, to be honest. He tried hard and he was searching, but I think ultimately he went down a blind alley. It was a very enticing alley because it looked so fresh at the beginning, but at the end, it's like the ending of his books. It's rather bleak and sad. Although it's pointing to a hopeful new story, that hopeful new story seems to remain in doubt. And we're just left with a sad event. Having said all that, I think this disturbing story is the saving grace for Antoine and his works. What I mean by this is his works were popular and still are popular. So they reach out to people and they disturb them. That's important in our lives. We need some disturbing. We need some provocation so that we don't fall into our gentle, lulling routines of comfort. And I think that's what Antoine felt too, which is why he wrote the books that he did. So now I find myself assessing myself again and coming to the conclusion Antoine was actually a pretty good guy. He left a great legacy. In spite of the heaviness and sadness, I would love to go to Morocco and check out some of the monuments that are still there, left to him and his Little Prince book. I'd also love to check out the desert and see what kind of magic it can weave on me, just like the magic it wove on Antoine. Be sure to click the subscribe button if you want more extensive English listening practice now. My channel is a great way to do extensive English listening practice easily. Thanks for listening.